Cinderella phenomenon. This time we are going to be playing Karma's ending, the good ending. I'll try to get through it, but I doubt it. um, that's got to be Karma. I still have to unlock it. Now, obviously, I just started from where we were selecting because there's no reason that's the same. I decided to go search for Karma as soon as I am done with Mr. Broom. Or as soon as it's done with me. Now, this one we're actually going to read because I've not played through Karma's ending at all. He should be sitting at the bar or at the table. I find him at the usual table talking to Waltz, who has his hand in a box or on a box. Why, if it isn't the princess, lovely morning, isn't it? It's the same as any other. Nonsense, every morning brings new opportunities, right, Waltz? I guess so. Every day there's another chance for a good deed, princess. Right. No clever comments today, princess? I do so enjoy them. Maybe coming to Karma was a bad idea. I would love to stay and offer advice, but Waltz and I had better be off. You mean that you're going to put me to work? Work? Parfait asked us to pick up some of the provisions for the tavern. It's going to be one of those days. She asked us, but in the end, it's just me carrying everything. You'd make a lady carry everything. Yeah, a lady. A dude. Karma suddenly stops and then whirls to look at me with wide eyes. Oh. I cannot say that I like the glimmer in his eyes. How would you like to help, Princess Lucette? I am sure this would count as one of your good deeds. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. Oh, Waltz, you're no fun. Helping Karma carry things does not sound pleasant, but I'll go. Truly, oh my, Waltz, it seems I will not be requiring your assistance today. Princess, are you sure? Perhaps this might be considered good. Besides, I'll finally get to leave this place for the first time since I've been here. I'm sure. Okay, take good care of the princess, Karma. Of course. For the rest of the day, Karma takes me to different shops around the town, reading off a long list and giving me the coins to buy things. I notice the townspeople treat me nicely when two of us are together. I do not understand why everyone likes Miss Karma so much, but maybe it is because they don't really know him. We stop in the middle of the town and sit at a small cafe on the outskirts to take a break. Miss Karma is still the picture of elegance. Why do you dress like a woman? Darling, not so loud. Why is it even a secret? It's related to my curse. I mentioned that before, didn't I? What was your curse again? Karma was one of the only people in the tavern who did not share what his curse was. Is knowing my curse even so important? You know what my curse is, so tell me what yours is. You drag me around town and help me carry your things. But princess, those weren't even my things. They weren't mine either. Okay, I'll tell you, though it is very sad. I do not think a curse is meant to be a happy thing. I have the beauty's curse. It is what forces people to fall in love with me every time they see my handsome face. Is that really a curse? This does not seem awful at all. Terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. Okay. What? Most people don't agree with me. It does not make sense for a witch to cast a good curse on you. I guess it doesn't, does it? Thank you, Princess Lucette. Why is he thanking me? Still, it feels like I'm missing something. Is it really the entirety of his curse? But don't people fall in love with you when you're a woman as well? No, Princess, that love is admiration or appreciation, sometimes lust. And when you're a man, they swarm to me like moths to a light. It becomes suffocating. Whom does it affect? The curse only affects women. It is a condition of the curse that they be women and that I be a man. It's part of the fairy tale. Which fairy tale? The one with... Oh. Karma suddenly stands up and points at a man selling red apple-like candies. He pulls me over, insisting that we try one. I try to bring up the subject of the curse again, but to no avail. Karma somehow managed to distract me for the rest of the day and is able to effectively dodge my questions. Is Karma hiding something from me? Why would he? I thought pairing up meant helping each other break our curses. Does he not want to break his curse? Uh-huh. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. We were in dire need of the supplies. I supervised her well, didn't I? Of course, dear. He did not do anything. He did not do anything. Princess, you wound me. It's the truth. But we had that nice talk. You avoided half my questions. Karma lets out an exasperated sigh, which becomes a forced yawn. No, I'm not going to yawn, because then I'll get tired. I'm going to bed. Today has been a tiring day. Please excuse me, darlings. Sleep well. Sleep well, Karma. Karma walks away, leaving me alone with Parfait. He's not bad, you know. I do not know why I agreed to work with him. Give him a chance, Lucette. I did not get a single good deed today. It's not just about the act, but the intentions. Did Karma just use me then? I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Tonight I will rethink my partnership. I barely slept the night. When I wake up the next day, my body is sore from carrying supplies around town yesterday. The more I think about Karma, the more my anger boils inside of me. How could I have not gotten a good deed yesterday? I decided to find him first thing in the morning. I see him at the usual table, once again, staring outside the window. A dark aura seems to surround him, and I notice that no one is sitting with him today. Karma? He keeps staring outside, and his eyes are glassy. Karma? Oh, Princess, good morning. It is far from good morning. I did not sleep well at all last night. What a shame. His voice is surprisingly cold. His tone rather dismissive. I was too busy thinking about yesterday. You told me that helping you would maybe help me complete a good deed. I point at my necklace, which hasn't changed at all since I'd received it. Do you see? Not another piece. You get pieces added to your glass slipper? That's charming. I was thinking that pairing up with you is a bad idea. Princess, did you just say you were paired up with me? I did. You must have known. Oh my, I assumed that you just wanted to help me. I didn't know you were pairing up with anyone. That's right, I never told him directly I wanted to partner up. Should I have? Well, it does not matter what I say anymore, because I do not think you can help me. I can't help you do a good deed. You have to do them on your own. I can present you with the opportunities, though. Opportunities. We start first by thawing the ice around your heart. So even Karma is calling me the Ice Princess. At least I speak my mind and don't pretend to be someone I'm not. And I do not promise things I cannot deliver either. Princess, I do believe you misinterpreted my words yesterday. That is not my fault. Patience is a virtue. Now, if you could, I would like some time alone. I did not sleep well yesterday. Didn't sleep well? Oh dear, that makes all three of us. I figured it was him. I turn around and see Rumple appear at the door. He strides toward the table with a confident grin on his face, and then takes another seat. Karma lets out a sigh. Foul man, what are you doing here? You flirt with a man once and he hates you. Is that it? No, you flirt with a man and then you insult him unnecessarily. Oh, I thought it was all in good fun. Something about the expression on Rumple's face tells me that that's not true at all. Are they just always going to be at each other's throats now? What are you doing here, Rumple? I couldn't help but overhear that you were looking for a partner, Princess. I thought I might offer my assistance, since I know that I can make you far happier than this fool over here. Would you like me to hit you again? What is the problem, sir? I only came to provide assistance where you could not. Rumple turns to me, grabs my hand, and winks at me. What do you say, Princess? We could be wonderful partners, and in no time at all, I swear I'll have your heart aflutter. Before I could slap his hand away, Karma slaps him instead. I cannot help the surprise on my face. Would you like another slap? I am in no mood for pleasantries today. I don't know how I ever mistook you for a lady. You are the most brutish man here. A slap for each cheek, darling. Would you like a third? Hands abruptly from the table and glares at Karma. I can almost see electricity bouncing between the two of them as they stare over my head at each other. I see Urian, something like that, walking towards us with a stern look on her face. I would never hurt a person unnecessarily. I don't resort to violence. My, then this gives me all the openings I need. I'm guessing I slap him. Yeah, slap him. I lean forward and slap Rumple from his blind spot. Both of the men turn to stare at me. I look at the red spot I left on Rumple's cheek and wince. I don't think I've ever slapped a person for anyone else before. My chest feels slightly heavy. Princess? You're being ridiculous. I've told you many times that I do not appreciate your flirting, and Karma doesn't either. Such a persistent man needs to be slapped a few times. Rumple puts a hand on his cheek and stares at me, distraught. You deserve that. Alright, what's happening over here? Jurian comes to stand in front of us, her expression stern. Nothing, I was just showing myself out. Excuse me. I'm not going to intentionally do voices just because it's hard to do. The initial playthrough was. Rumple leaves, and I am alone with Karma. He slumps back down to his chair. After making sure he won't do anything rash again, Jurian leaves us. Jurian. I leave Karma sitting there by himself and return to the front of the tavern where Anais has more chores waiting for me. Today I have to work as a server, which is still better than working with Mr. Broom. The usual people are in the tavern, and I overhear the conversations as I work. At one point, Garland walks over to the bar and Anais serves him a drink. He looks sullen, and I watch him curiously for a few moments. Then I notice he's staring at Jurian, who is still talking sternly to two drunken men, continuously clacking their bottles together at the table. If you make too much of a scene here, you're gonna bother the other customers. Well, the same people are here all the time, eh? We're not bothering anyone, hun. Garland looks so agitated. What is wrong with him? I will not stand to have you call me that again. Loosen up, woman. You may have been a knight at the palace before, but you got no such title now. Garland stands up, and I see slight anger in his eyes. A few people at the bar look up at him with worry. I may have no title, but I still demand respect. I'm Sir Garland. Are you okay? He looks back at us almost like he's coming out of a trance. I'm fine. Sorry about that, ladies. He sits back down, glancing once more at Jurian as she continues speaking to the men. They glance at Garland warily, their expressions more somber. Why was he acting that way? Garland's usually more composed. Princess, if there's something on your mind. No. I brush all thoughts of what just transpired in my mind as I return from my work. Hours go by, and my body protests to all of the leaning I have to do. Even though I had tried to carry a lot around town yesterday, it was nice to be out for a while. Maybe I'm better off just helping him, just to avoid the chores in here. At least it stops me from being worked to the bone. Oh, Princess, you're doing very well today. I always perform like this. But today you're delivering everything really quickly. Do you mean to say I don't perform well on other days? No, Princess. I only mean to say that today your performance is even better than normal. Is that supposed to be a compliment? I walk away from Anais, who stares at me sadly. If she wanted to give me a compliment, she could have said something that wasn't so backhanded. As the tavern clears for the day, I finally have time to sit down and relax. As I am sitting here, Waltz pulls up a chair and sits in front of me. Hello, Princess. I heard from Anais that you were excellent at your job today. Congratulations on improving. Princess? So you're mocking me now, too? Princess, I think you're taking things too seriously. The intention of the compliment is to well compliment someone. We're not making fun of you. You're implying that I do not normally do good at this. We never said that you weren't good at this, only that you were better today. Let me give you an example. I put on a puppet show for kids. Sometimes the children come to me and say that the show was even better than usual. So the children are telling you that yours aren't normally satisfactory. Not at all. The children always smile, regardless of whether they really like the show, as long as you're trying your best. That's what matters. The people in the bar are always smiling when they deliver food to them, aren't they? No, no one likes me here. Maybe if you smiled, they'd smile back. I'm not going to smile at any of them. I do not owe them anything. You don't need to owe anyone a smile. Any smile that isn't owned is fake. Princess, I'm leaving, Waltz. I want some time to myself. I walk upstairs to my bedroom, pointedly ignoring the look of sadness on Waltz's face. I had been sleeplessly lying on the bed for hours. Sometimes I hear the sounds of the people walking through the hallway. Who would be up this time of night? I need to leave and get some fresh air. It is eerily quiet at night. I stop when I hear the faint sounds coming from outside. What is that? Somehow I got way off here. Remain inside. I can see. Okay, on second thought, maybe that'd be dangerous. I turn and see Delora with amusement flickering in her eyes. Did you come down to visit Mr. Broom or something? I didn't know you two had gotten so close. We haven't. It was a joke, Princess. You really don't have a sense of humor, do you? I think it is you that don't have the sense of humor. Snappy as a crocodile, as always. So what are you doing down here? Couldn't sleep? Me too. I heard some sounds. I just wanted to see where they were coming from. Sounds? Are you really spooked by some sound from the forest, or are you just curious for your own good? Curiosity killed the cat, you know. I did not ask for your opinion, witch. Well, the both of us could use some fresh air, don't you think? I stare at her in surprise. Come on, I know a place we can go. Delora and I eventually find ourselves in the forest. It sounds like a metal against metal. Well, I guess you're being partnered with Karma. You would find out eventually. Excuse me? You'll get the answer to my question when we walk through the trees and come to a clearing. I finally see where the sounds are coming from. Two men standing in the clearing, swords clashing. One of the men is Garland, who is poised with his sword. It takes me a moment to realize the other is Karma, who is in undress. So it is he who was with Waltz that night. Neither he nor Garland noticed us at first. Princess, you're staring. Of course I am. What is all this? A practice session. Karma is a very talented swordsman, and he practices at night with either Urin or Garland, depending on who's not on patrol. Karma can use the sword that well. The king told me that once that only knights could have such skill. Who is Karma? Oh, if it isn't the princess. His voice is nothing like the feminine voice I hear from him. Karma actually sounds like a man. I notice him looking at me between his strikes with a little smile. How does he remain so composed and steady with a distraction? Princess. Karma, that made me jump a little bit. Karma quickly finds an opening in Garland's hesitant stance and then pins him to the ground with his sword, still smiling. To be distracted is to die, Garland. I know. The ability to see distractions and then put them in the back of your mind is one every knight should know. You must know everything that is happening around you, but only deal with the pertinent things. Yes, sir. Karma straightens sword in hand. Moments later, Garland tumbles to his feet and gives an immediate bow. nods at him before sheathing his sword. A slow melancholy begins to creep into my heart. For some reason, seeing the sword practice makes me nostalgic, though I'm not sure why. What are you practicing for? To protect, Princess. Knowing the sword is the same as knowing the shield. It means to protect. To protect? I think I remember having this kind of conversation with him before. I can never figure out how to counter an opponent when they're mere inches from my face. My commander called that one the enemy's kiss, the standoff where your eyes lock into your opponent's because of the proximity. The best way to counter is to feint the sword in the opposite direction. It throws your opponent off because they're not looking. Well, that makes sense, but the enemy's kiss, what's the name? It seems so dramatic for a sword move, doesn't it? Swordplay is dramatic, though, isn't it? Isn't the most effective swordplay not meant to be flashy? Princess, I didn't notice you there. Good morning, Princess. Well, a most effective swordplay cannot be predicted. The commander says it needs to be robust and quick. Sometimes swordplay can look like dancing, though, which is why some think the professionals are flashy. That seems unnecessary. Everyone has their own methods and their own skills. All of us knights fight for different reasons as well. Isn't it to protect all of us in the palace? Well, yes, but we protect everyone in the castle for different reasons, Princess. The knights protect for different reasons. I turn to Karma. But Karma, you're not a knight. No, I'm most definitely not. But since Garland and Urian begged me to teach them, I have somehow become their mentor. There's no way Garland and Urian would do that. After all, both of them were the best knights in NGL before they were stripped of their titles. Karma actually speaks the truth. Urian and I really did have to get down on our knees and beg him to instruct us. What? Is Karma really so talented? So you're finally impressed with me. What do you think, Princess? I am a picture of elegance in this outfit, aren't I? You know, I don't know why you and Rumple fight so often. You really are very similar. Gotta get a drink. Yeah, warm milk. Don't compare me to that fool. He has no class. Just because you come from different backgrounds, it doesn't mean he has less class. Any less class. So the reason you were tired today is because you do these practices at night. Oh, I suppose you've been caught red-handed. Why does it have to be secret? Does it have to do with Karma's curse? But he's not in disguise now. We could have been working on breaking our curses today, but no, you decided that staying up late at night and practicing was more important. That was probably why you were grumpy this morning. Well, our protection is vital, don't you think? Garland, you were at the palace. Is it that Karma poses more skill with you than... with a sword than you? There we go. Princess! Karma is special, Princess. He's more talented with the sword than a lot of other people. And I do pride myself on being a splendid instructor. But never fear, Princess. I will help dispel your curse. After all, you did just suggest that we're still partners. Can he really help me with my curse? But how will he do that just by presenting opportunities? We'll try again tomorrow, darling. But for now, Garland and I have some more work to do. This time, Garland, do not lose focus. Yes, sir. Silent swords carry throughout the night air, and for a long time, I stand with Delora watching two men fight. Karma chides Garland often, telling him that his concentration is waning. Karma is a good swordsman, perhaps even better than the palace knights. His nimble swordplay repeats again and again in my head, even when I return to the tavern for the night. And we'll skip the mother stuff because we already know what she is. And that way it'll help cut out some. Chapter 4. Still got 7 chapters to go if you kill this one. If they're all 10 chapters, that is. Urian, don't come at me like you truly mean to stab me. You'll never land a hit. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I have come here every night since, though I never stay as long as Karma, since I actually have to work in the mornings. Alright, here I come. Their two swords clash, and Karma laughs as he throws Urian back and taps her lightly on the shoulder with the sword. That makes 4 hits, and that one was easy. Is that the best you can do, Urian? I notice that every time Karma practices with Urian, he's in Miss Karma disguise. He says it is because of the curse, and because he does not want Urian to fall in love with him. Isn't he being over dramatic? I doubt someone like Urian could fall in love with Carmen. Be subtle and quiet. Garland tells me that you're usually good at that. Yes, I am. Then why the exception today? Ah, sir. Charlie, it wouldn't happen to be because of the way I'm dressed, would it? You're still not used to it? Hit the nail on the head, have I? It is not very chivalrous to hurt a lady, of course, but the logic applies to men as well. An enemy is an enemy you're in, but even if your enemy is a delicate flower like myself. Delicate flower. And you should have hit him on the head for that. The princess! He's not delicate at all. Aaron laughs and I scowl at her. Is she laughing at me? You and Karma seem to get along. I doubt it. Oh, princess, you wound me. You always say that. You wound me where Aaron's blood cannot. Something flashes in Aaron's eyes as she readies her sword again. Karma stands ready as Aaron rushes at him with her sword. Their swords clash again. I wonder. Karma, your back's open. Karma turns to you and taps him on the shoulder and laughs loud. I did it a single hit. It looks like you have a weakness too, Karma. No, it wasn't a weakness. It was lack of sleep catching up with me. Sure. Why did he listen to me? He told Garland the other day that it's crucial to only listen and watch the most important things. Alright, practice is over for now. I can see Garland coming for his practice. Karma walks over to a corner and have a drink. I should probably head back to the tavern soon, but there is something I want to see first. On our way out, Aaron gives a solemn nod to Garland. She pauses to say something to him and then looks at me, noticing my vague curiosity. I was just mentioning what a good swordsman Karma is. I've seen him fight, and Karma is a good swordsman. There is no doubt about it. Yet, is practicing with him really so special? He's fast on his feet and quick with his reactions. He's an excellent person to train under, even better than most of the commanders in the palace. I second that. Even better than Ross, remember him? The first commander we trained under, the one that punished slow learning with extra exercises. You always had to do more exercises than I did. Something about you being distracted. I was watching the way you swung your sword to make sure you didn't hurt yourself. You've always been overprotective. Well, They both suddenly stopped to look at Carmen, who was smiling slyly on the side. Why does he have that look on his face? Well, that's a sign. We can't keep the commander waiting. Garland shakes his head, his expression snapping back into something more serious. Right. The two exchange quick farewells before Aaron waves and steps out of the clearing, leaving Garland with Karma. You're in a dress today. Are you two really so opposed to hurting me when I'm in a dress, or are you worried about ruining it? No. It's just so strange. You move so well even in a long dress. But yes, Aaron did mention almost stepping on it once. Impossible. I'm a picture of elegance. Of course, sir. Karma shows Garland's comment off. The two ready their swords, then get right into the practice. Aaron is taking over Garland's control now, so that Garland can get some practice time. So, Garland, have you told Aaron yet? No. The conversation that Karma always has with Garland is the real reason I stay behind to watch them practice. I don't understand why Garland answers Karma's question if doing so makes him so depressed. Will you ever say anything to her, Garland? Why don't you just confess to her already? Clearly he's attracted to her. Oh. Karma lands an easy hit on Garland, who sighs in response. Whenever Garland thinks about Uranol, he gets distracted. I do not understand his feelings at all, but seeing him remain quiet frustrates me. Uran is talented and poised. I could never be good enough for her. You'll never win a woman's heart if you don't compliment her looks as well, Garland. Well, she's pretty too, beautiful. And there's me. Aren't they both knights? Have they been training together for a long time? I can see why you would say something. Yeah, okay. Whoop! Because she's better than me. No, because if you told her and she refused, then it'd be difficult afterwards. You understand, princess? Of course I understand. I'm not stupid. No, I didn't mean it like that. Don't take offense, Garland. That's just the way she talks. The princess is a fragile flower with her petals always curved inward. What does that even mean? See if if Uran, she'd probably know. But I'm just as confused as you are. I don't think so. I don't think anyone understands half of the fluff Karma speaks. It's because I weave love and dedication into every single one of my words. There is a beauty in deciphering them. But enough idle chatter. Let's continue our training. I've been staying longer than I intended. By the time I consider returning to Tavern, Garland and Karma are wrapping up for the night. I have a question for Karma, so I wait until Garland leaves before I approach him. You're still here, princess. Were you seeking out alone time with me by chance? I have enough of that every day when we run errands. I just have a question for you. You always come to the right person. What can I do for you, princess? Lisette? You ask Garland the same question every time you train, and he always tells you that he cannot confess. Karma nods in acknowledgement, but his attention is on the sword. He inspects it carefully before sheathing it. It frustrates me. You're frustrated? That look of it always annoys me. Oh my, it is annoying. Did you want to ask me why he won't confess? Because you're so frustrated? Sorry, I had to yawn. Yes. I suppose after almost 2 months, I do know you a bit better. You do not know anything about me. And I do not know anything about you either. Confessing isn't easy, dear Lucette. Surely you must realize the possibility of rejection is a significant deterrent. But if you never ask, you never get an answer, and the stress of worrying stays with you and ruins everything. Why are you staring at me? Is that the reason you're so blunt, princess? Blunt? You're far more blunt than I am. Princess Lucette, you truly are amazing. You're sharp as a knight's blade. I'm not amusing. That is a matter of opinion, darling. He really is insufferable. And yet I still come to him for advice. The scariest part of a confession is the possibility of rejection. Can you imagine loving someone and then finding out that they don't feel the same way about you? My thoughts shift to the king. My chest tightens. Princess Lisette? Karma reaches out a hand to brush a strand of hair out of my face. I slap it away without realizing. He pulls his hand back with a gentle sigh. My apologies, princess. No, I cannot imagine. No? Loving someone and finding out they don't truly feel the same way? I always knew my father loved me, and my understanding is different from what Karma is referring to. Besides, I no longer hold any love in my heart for the king. I had already given up hope on him. Right? It is a good thing that you haven't experienced a rejected love, princess. It is one of the worst feelings. Karma asks to be alone, so I return to the tavern myself that night. Too much reading for me. I do not know why I agreed to this, even when nothing changes. Today I'm once again out on the town with Karma, running errands. Since we've been partnered, he insists on coming with him every day. Why do you need a new dress? Because a lady needs all kinds of dresses in her closet. Variety is the key when you want to make a good impression. Why would you make a good impression on people in a disguise? A disguise is meant to conceal you. It does not exist to be flaunted. Oh no, darling, it is I only wear the disguise to stop the curse from working on people. It's not really meant to conceal anything, but the fact that I am a man, being doted on by married women or a woman in love with another man, especially traveling. Is the curse really that powerful? Karma leads me over to the dress store, and conversation pauses. When he goes inside, the store owner gives some specifications for a new dress. I have a feeling she's going to end up with Karma. When we leave, Karma suggests going someplace to reward me for all my hard work. You're treating me? Why wouldn't I? You've been helping me for a while now. What is this feeling? Gratitude? Karma does owe me for everything that I've done for him. So why do I feel like this? It would be much easier for you to just help me carry bags. Oh, there. Let's buy one of those cupcakes. Karma cuts through my suggestion easily. Does he really dislike work so much that he'd rather pay me off for helping him? Karma takes me to a stand showcasing all kinds of cupcakes. There's some with colored frosting, others with fancy decorations. Some are especially eye-catching, like a bright blue cupcake decorated with little stars. Anything you like, fancy ladies. All of them, actually. Alas, I do not think eating all of them would be good for my diet. What do you think, Princess? We'll share one? I turn back to the cupcakes, which are big enough to share between two people. Am I choosing one for myself, or one that Karma would like? I guess he's treating me, but two cupcakes catch my eye. One has a tiny little creature sitting on top of the frosting. It seems to be a little lizard of sorts. Though it is strange, the colors remind me of Karma's dress. The other is decorated with white chocolate pearls. Its pearls are small, but somehow cute. But Karma might like the other cupcake. Well, I'm guessing you choose the one with the lizard, then. Yes, with the lizard. I'll have that one. The one with the... Oh my, is that a chameleon? A chameleon? It is a chameleon. Oh, that's adorable. Sir, we'll take one of those. I was thinking he'd lay it for the colors, not the chameleon. Whatever that is. You don't know what a chameleon is? You really lived a sheltered life. Okay. Let's go enjoy this somewhere else, shall we? Nobody's watching the stream, so I'm not even going to bother checking the chat. Karma leads me to the middle of the plaza, and the two of us find the table. He walks off to get a fork and a knife, before returning handing a set to me. Do I really need a knife and fork to eat a cupcake? So before we get your dress, you distracted me with cupcakes. We were talking about your curse. Were we? It's not an interesting topic. I was glad that we'd gotten off that tangent, to be honest. Why don't you want to talk about it? You have your secrets just as I do, Princess. But the whole point of pairing up is to help each other with our curses. Princess, you want to help me? Only because it is necessary that I help him so I can help me. He can help me. I haven't made any progress helping you, though. You said you'd provide me with the opportunities. I'm not very good at that, am I? I'm sorry, Princess. Well, I don't think I've done anything to help you either. But, Princess, you've been helping me for the last few weeks. Whether or not it's an obligation, you're still good company. Good company? No one has ever told me that before. They only chide me for being difficult to speak with. Karma starts cutting the cupcake, his knife sliding through the frosting and cake with ease. I've definitely never seen such refined manners for a simple dessert. What was your life like before the curse, Princess? I have no need to tell you any of that. No, it's not necessary, but I'm curious. Would I be doing a good deed in telling him? I don't think so. How about we little trade-off, fact for fact? You give me a story today, and I'll give you one tomorrow. What makes you think I'm interested in your life? Well, you do keep asking me about my curse. Only because we're working on breaking our curses. Okay, then, we won't talk about the past or any secrets. We can talk about this cupcake instead. What? Why does he insist on changing the topic? Karma cuts the chameleon on top in half. I notice that he gives himself the head, which is a lot cuter. While I get stuck with the tail. Chameleons are little lizards that can blend into their surroundings. Is he willing to go this far to avoid the subject? When I was a child, my father used to call me a chameleon. What? I hid a lot. I hid a lot to avoid responsibility. So oftentimes, no one could find me, not even my father, nor the servants. If he had servants, that makes him a noble. One day, I was out searching for a mythical creature in our garden and came upon a chameleon. It was a small, silly little lizard, but I'd only found it because I was looking for something fantastic. Lizard on Cupcake does not seem all that fantastic. My father explained that it was to me, or what it was to me, and then started calling me his silly little chameleon. It was ridiculous, but he said I'd always been good at hiding, so it suited me. What is it, Princess? It seems like you're still good at hiding. You hide behind your disguise and keep any secrets. I suppose I am still a chameleon then. I don't think that nickname makes any sense. Sometimes they don't have to. Nicknames don't have to make sense to be endearing, Princess. Can we please just get back to the subject at hand? Yes, this cupcake. If you insist on sharing a story for a story, then I'll tell you something about me. Oh? You do not seem the type to want to share. Normally, I don't see a reason for sharing things about my past, but my mother once told me that to confide in someone else's weakness. But more than that, I'd always worried that others would just judge me. No one ever wanted to listen to me. I know enough about others' opinions of me to know that they think I am the one at fault. Always. I won't judge you, Princess. I won't judge you for not wanting to say anything to me. I divulged nothing to you after all. Story for story, that's the deal, right? I expect you to keep it. Or rather, a fact for a fact. It's not like I have to tell him everything, just something about myself. I will tell you about my life at the palace. It's not as if it is a secret, though I doubt Karma would understand. Ever since Mother died, the palace has been a cold place. Why the surprise? Is it because you see Evangeline and Rod assume that we are all one big happy family? I do have to admit that Princess Evangeline seems quite gentle. Prince Rod is quiet, but he seems to be an honorable man. When I saw you and the princess in the dress store, Princess Evangeline seemed very nice, is she not? Her kindness is fragile at best. She tries far too hard to be genuine, for it to be genuine. Her insistence is irritating. I've never wanted to be friends with her. The king took a second wife after Mother died, as if she never mattered to him. Karma was silent and continued to talk, my emotions loosening my tongue. I had meant to stop there, but the words keep coming. I do that. The only one who ever showed me any affection in the palace was Mother. The king never paid attention to me in the palace, but he treats Rod and Evangeline far better than he'd ever treated me. What was your mother like? All the fondest memories are of her. She was always with me in the palace, teaching me right from wrong. She taught me how to not show weakness, and who to speak with. Who to speak with? This conversation is useless. People are often very likely to lead you astray. That was the reason. I never saw any reason to speak with the townsfolk. Will you judge me for like everyone else does? No, Princess, I'm not judging you. Just a little sad. Why would that be sad? It sounds like you lived an empty life. It was not an empty life. Hello. But it sounds as if your mother separated you from everyone. It wasn't as if the townsfolk would accept me anyway. I'm sorry, I'm sleepy, so my brain's not functioning at all. Shut up. Mother said they were not to be trusted. Princess, about your mother. I will not hear you speak ill of Mother. No, I only had a question about... Hello. Your mother. Karma coughs and I pause to stare at him as he clears his throat. Okay, I've got chat up. What is it? This... Oh, God. I hear the change immediately. His voice is lower, far lower than soft gentleness gone. Karma puts his hand over his throat and grumbles. Karma's voice is teetering on the edge of sounding unmistakably male. I've always wondered how he is able to change his voice, but I seem to forget about it. What happened to your voice? Oh, it's karma. I turned to see a young market girl approach us. She looks at the girl adoringly. I've always wanted to speak with you, Miss Karma, ever since you complimented my dress that one time in the dress store. Your dress is lovely today, as always, Miss Karma. Karma? Miss Karma, are you okay? I'm quite fine. I cannot help but giggle as the girl takes a step back, looking shocked by Karma's now deep voice. Karma curses again in his deep voice before forcing a bright smile on his face. Excuse me, I am feeling under the weather. I notice that he's trying to change the pitch of his voice, but the highness is only annoying rather than soothing now. Oh, sorry. Karma turns to me urgently, but I am too amused to offer any sort of assistance. What is it, Miss Karma? It says to tease her. Karma's smile is forced, his eyes are glaring at me. I laugh once again, and not able to help myself. His expression softens, but only slightly. He obviously wants to leave, but I can't help myself. Karma, I do wish you'd say something. At the very least, you should thank the girl for a compliment. Oh no, it's not quite alright. Come on, Karma, you're usually the most charming person on these streets. Thank you. Sounds like he's dying now. I cannot help but start laughing again. This small annoyance on Karma's face seems to dissipate it completely. Leaving. My packages. He takes my hand and curtsies politely to the girl and pulls me away. You sound sick. It's run out. Run out. The potion that Parfait makes for me. I must have talked too much. You talked too much. Karma puts a finger to his lips as we stroll through town. He shakes his head, making it clear that he won't speak until later. I can't speak myself. When we arrive at the tavern, it is already dark. Karma pauses and turns to look at me. What? You have a nice smile, Princess Lucette. I'm glad I could make you laugh. Well, of course I laughed. You sounded ridiculous. It's worth sounding ridiculous just to see you smile. You and Rumple really are the same. That comment does not faze him. He smiles widely as he leaves for his room. I'm glad I can make you laugh. I cannot get those words out of my head, even though I'm supposed to be resting for the night. I think I should go see Karma practice in your inner garden. I leave my room and go down to the reception room. Delore and Parfait let me go to the forest at night alone now, since they know I am meeting up with Karma. Parfait is in the reception room tonight, reading a book. I was always told that reading in the dark was bad for your eyes. Oh, I didn't see you. I noticed that she's closed the book now, and I can read the cover. She's reading Cinderella? That's my fairy tale curse. A great war was caused by fairy tales, right? Yes, that's right. And yet you are reading one. The curses are based off these fairy tales, after all. But why are you reading Cinderella? My curse isn't anything like the fairy tale, it's reversed. True, but the morals remain the same. In order to become Cinderella, you must be good like her. Cinderella had everything handed to her by a fairy godmother. I had everything taken away. Princess, you truly truly had everything taken away from you. Compared to what I used to have, what I have now might as well be nothing. You have friendships and people who enjoy your company. No one in this tavern enjoys my company. Are you sure about that, Princess? I think you have difficulty trusting that we all like you. Like me? Why would you like me? You become like family here. I haven't even been here that long. It doesn't matter. Everyone here at the Martian is family. Family? You're saying that everyone at the Martian is like family. Princess, you are the one on my borders. You're more than just a regular here. You live here with us, so like I said, you're family. I speak more with people here than I have ever spoken to my own family. In the palace, I was always alone. The only person I could speak with was Fritz. Are you going to watch Karma practice? A nod in response. Be safe, Princess. As I head to the door, I recall what happened earlier today. Parfait, what's that potion you make for Karma? You mean the potion I make to make his voice change? He begged me to help him when he first designed his disguise. Karma makes a beautiful woman, but he didn't think that the illusion was complete without a convincing voice. You know how picky he is. Something else on your mind, Princess? Karma hides his curse, but you must know the conditions for breaking it, don't you? Parfait does not answer. Or are you also keeping it a secret? Princess said, not everyone likes to talk about their curses. I think it'd be better if you ask Karma directly. I just don't understand why he won't tell me everything when I'm trying to help him. Just as you think your good deeds are difficult, there's sometimes something about Karma's curse that just can't come to terms with. I put my hand on the necklace around my neck. I still haven't performed any good deeds. Can I really do this? I'm going now. I walk out of the front door and into the forest. I decide not to think about this, at least not until later. I wish this was all simpler, and that Karma wasn't cloaked in so many secrets. We're skipping all this crap. Chapter 5. I've been in the Martian for a couple months now, and I still haven't managed to do a single good deed. Today I went out of town with Waltz to buy ingredients for parfait. The two of us had both been very quiet, which is uncharacteristic for Waltz. Princess? What? Did Karma explain why he wasn't coming with you today? Princess? Does Waltz not like my company? Is that why he's asking why he had to fill in for Karma? He said he was tired. Oh. Waltz turned his head, his eyebrows furrowing in confusion. Oh, the town feels so different today. It does? It feels as if people are watching us. How can you tell? With practice, I have a lot of eyes on me when I'm doing my puppet shows, after all. Even before then, I was used to being watched, I guess. Before you were cursed, why? It seemed... Well, I was more conspicuous as an adult, I guess. An adult, oh right. You have the Neverland curse. You remembered, yes, I have the Neverland curse. I told you what that was in the tavern once. You were stuck as a child when you should be a man. Right, a little inconvenient, but I've gotten used to it. Well, it's just so much more straightforward about his curse than Karma. The two of us go into the store where we find the little cups that Parfait asked us to buy. After I pay, Waltz automatically picks up the bags. His help is so nice for a change. I have become so accustomed to carrying the bags on my own. So, have you made any progress on your good deeds? You can see from my necklace that I haven't. But you have changed. I still don't see how I've changed at all. Karma hasn't taught me anything about doing good. Sometimes in order to do good, you need to realize some things about yourself first. Maybe Karma's not so bad at helping you with that. He's selfish, flamboyant, and acts as if the world revolves around him. But you're still partnered with him. I am. I'm okay with Karma's company. Most of the people judge and shun me. But Karma hasn't done that, and he's even mentioned enjoying my company. I have become more tolerant of him, too. Oh, Princess. Waltz's eyes light up and see him pointing ahead to a crowd of people gathered around around the center of town. A woman stands in the middle of the crowd, telling people's fortunes. We should go see if the fortunes are told. The crowd around the woman only grows larger until nearly half of the plaza is taken up. I find myself pushed around in the crowd as I try to follow Waltz. The crowd is so dense, though, that and in no time at all I have lost them. Waltz! I call for him, but I do not see him over the dozens of people in front of me. I will wait for him on the outskirts of the crowd. He should be able to find me. I make my way out of the crowd and the edges of the alleyway. But Waltz still does not appear. 10 minutes go by and I consider walking back to the crowd when I hear the voice behind me. Are you looking for someone, madam? I feel someone grab my hand. I slap them away and take a step back. When I turn, I find a man standing behind me in the alleyway. Didn't mean to startle you. What do you want? I want to help you return to the palace, Princess said. You know who I am? I do, Princess, and I can lead you back to the palace. Who are you? Someone who's working for the king. But the king does not remember me. The only people that would remember me are the witches, fairies, and those with the curse. So who exactly is this man? You're lying. Princess, why would I ever lie to you? Now come. I'm sure everyone at the palace will be happy to see you. He grabs my hand roughly and begins trying to pull me through the alleyway. The first thing I try to do is scream, but the man clamps his free hand over my mouth. The crowd is getting farther from us, and no one can see us in the shadows. I swear on my word I'm bringing you back to the palace. Fight back. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm supposed to do. Yep, fight back. I have to fight back. Maybe I could still draw people's attention to me. I try to squirm my way out of the man's arms, but it does not work. He chuckles lightly at me until I elbow him in the stomach. For the few moments that I am free, I try to run, but all too soon, the man grabs me again in the same punishing grip over my mouth and a nose to stop me from screaming. You're a real feisty one, ain't you? I feel like I might faint. In one last attempt to get free, I tug at the man's hand with my own and manage to shift it just enough until I can bite down on it. Ew! The man screams in pain, his grip finally loosening. I can hear him curse as I run away from him. A few minutes later, I decide that I have gone in the wrong direction. Go back up chat, everything. Alright. I soon come to a dead-end alleyway, and I can hear the man running up behind me. What is this I see before me? I look up to see Karma standing on the rooftop right above us, in his disguise holding a sword, a broad grin on his face. You might hurt yourself playing with that sword. You might want to put that down. What's this? Do you not feel threatened? Do you feel threatened by me? You should. Karma jumps down from the building and raises his sword in front of him. His eyes are angry. His earlier jovial personality fallen away. Anyone that attacks a lady has to pay for the crime. Karma rushes forward, moving faster than I can see. Even in a long dress, the glint of the sword causes the man to fall backwards, loosening his grip on me. I step back from the man's hold and watch as Karma points his sword at the man's neck. Now I have a sword, and you do not. Do you really want to test your luck, sir? This isn't even worth it. The man runs off, leaving me alone with Karma in the alleyway. What's this? You're a lot cockier than just a few moments ago. I breathe out slowly as relief washes over me. Princess! Waltz approaches from where the man had hit run. So, did you meet the coward fellow on your way here? I bumped into a man who looked as if he was running from death. Oh my, I feel oddly accomplished. Karma and Waltz's voice become faded and indistinct as my vision blurs. I am suddenly light on my feet. All the adrenaline from earlier has dissipated into thin air. I feel tired. Princess! Before I can collapse, I feel my arms pulling me back up. Rest easy, Princess said. I close my eyes and fall into blackness. When I wake up, Ace is setting a tray of food down on my bedside table. He does not notice as I rise slowly from the bed. Ace. Oh, Princess, you're up. We were worried about you. Lady Delora and Lady Parfait said you were just out because of shock, but still. How long have I been asleep? Just a few hours. Don't worry about chores for now. Lady Delora says that if you're feeling better later, you can use Mr. Room. Just thinking about Mr. Room gives me a headache. Where are Karma and Waltz? Waltz is scouting the town, looking for the man that captured you. And Karma? I think he might be in his room, Princess. He's got a patrol tonight, so he's resting for a bit. If he has patrol tonight, then that must mean he was resting this morning too. How did he know I needed help? Do you need anything, Princess? No, I'm going to visit Karma. What? To thank you? However, he knew if Karma hadn't been there, things wouldn't have ended so well. Yes, that's sweet. Oh, Delora wants to talk to you about what happened with you feeling when you're filling up with it. To it. Okay. I'll wait until I enter this room before I follow after. It's only after I exit the room that I realize I do not know where Karma's room is. And Ace must have assumed that I already knew, with us all being partners and all. It's fine, I do not need any. I can find Karma's room on my own. It takes some time, but eventually I find the room with a name on the door and careful flowery letters. It suits him. Simply open the door without thinking to knock. I expected to find Karma laying in bed, but instead he's standing in front of a mirror changing his clothes. Princess! Uh-oh. I do not think I've ever seen a Really? Oh, indeed. He turns to me with the realization he's standing there and just his hands hits me hard in the stomach. My face feels incredibly uncomfortably warm. Why are you just standing there? Put on your clothes. And then I notice a large tattoo on his chest. This arose and stared by many vines. I stare at it for a few moments before Karma puts a hand there to conceal it. It's rude to come into her ladies' room unannounced, you know. Karma slips his usual dress on carefully over his head and then approaches me. I take a step back without realizing. Karma raises an eyebrow and then smiles at me mischievously. It is a familiar look, but it rattles me more now than it ever has before. I couldn't see around the camera. My princess, you're as red as a tomato. Are you okay? Does this man always need to point out the obvious? I'm fine. There's no need to shout. Now, what did you come here for? To see me? Does everything always have to revolve around you? Well, you're breaking into my room. I am barely able to stifle a sigh. Well, I cross my arms and frown at him. His smile makes it even harder to get my next words out. I came here to thank you. Do my ears deceive me? What did you say, princess? Princess? Thank you for saving me. I saw you fight back, and that was a very admirable attempt. You saw me? Yes, as you were coming to the end of the alleyway. But I didn't manage to escape. It doesn't matter. You certainly made the effort. But I digress. You were quite welcome. It was my pleasure. I should leave. Wait, what? I turn to leave, but Karma grabs my hand and pulls me back. But princess, don't you owe me something? So Karma was expecting something in return after all. I should have known. I think you owe me an apology. You did come into my room unannounced after all. What is he talking about? Since you broke into my room, I demand that you help me with my makeup, and then I'll forget your transgression. Your makeup? Yes. I thought you were resting because you were going on patrol tonight. Resting? Nonsense. I have much to do. My makeup earlier was so messy that I washed my face in order to reapply it. I cannot believe that I'm going to agree to this. Fine. Oh, what a splendid day it is. Come, princess, let's do this by a mirror. Karma pulls me over to the mirror, where I can see both of our faces reflected. He has a surprising vanity of makeup on the dresser beside him. I do not even care much for my appearance. Why am I helping Karma with his makeup? Now, which feature of the face do you want? Most important to highlight, princess. What? What are your eyes attracted to the most on a person's face? When they are laughing, when they smile. Why is he asking for my opinion on something so trivial? Well, when they smile, you would be looking at their lips. Which, that's what it said to click anyway, so. Why do I feel like I'm walking in a trap? Whoops. I didn't think I'd ever hear you say that. You looked at my lips when I smiled. I did not say that. Oh, but you did. And princess, I do believe you're blushing. Even though Karma has never said he was referring to his features, I thought it about it. Okay, weirdo. The thought makes my heart flop, though I do not have the faintest idea why. Anyway, I agree. Those lips are important. Though eyes are important, a smile isn't quite as brilliant without the lips. Without the lips? Try to imagine a smile without lips and sugar. Sorry, Princess, I misspoke. Try to dispel the image from your mind. Anyway, I'll let you choose the order of things. Okay. Fine. Don't make me look like a clown. I know how much you like to tease me, but I need to get out of here quickly today. If you need to leave quickly, shouldn't you do your makeup yourself? Maybe it's the opportunity to have you help me. Nonsense. If I can, I'll have you help me with my hair some other time. The way you do yours is beautiful. I always put effort into my hair, as mother always emphasized the importance of looking like a princess. But I've never received a compliment on a hairstyle before. Grandma gives me his makeup and supplies, and I start layering the color on his face. When we are this close, I cannot help but carefully inspect every one of his features. I do not think I even did something like this with mother. You know, Princess, I don't think I deserve your thanks. I pause and raise an eyebrow at him. What? You've been helping me for a while, and I haven't helped you with your curse at all. Coincidence? I'd heard you went to town with Walt, so I followed you too, only to happen to catch you. What happened in the alleyway? You managed to see me even when there were many other people who didn't. I have good eyes, probably. Probably. It's not like you to be so humble. Lucette, I am once again offended. And why were you following us in the first place? You said you were too tired to go into town today. I was worried. It was not strange accompanying you today. It was strange not accompanying you today. Worried? Why would you be worried? Carmen looks puzzled for a few moments and glances himself in the mirror solemnly, then shrugs. Intuition, perhaps. Waltz mentioned something about feeling watched. Is there something that Waltz and Karma are watching out for that I'm not? Karma closes his eyes momentarily and takes the opportunity to dust his eyes with the eyeshadow. He does not seem to mind. Princess, you haven't spoken about what happened today with Gladilla or Parfait, have you? No, not yet. You came to me to thank me first. Yes? Oh. Karma falls into silence and I continue to work, sweeping blush on his high cheekbones. Princess, do you know anything about the man who tried to drag you away today? No, he said he only worked for the king before telling me he would take me back to the palace. I wonder how he recognized you. I was wondering that myself. How curious and alarming. The only ones who should pose any problem at this time are the witches. Witches? What do they want with me? Well, I only mean that the witches are the only ones who can see through our curses. So that man that spoke is a witch? It's possible. But why? Why would the witches want me back at the palace? Or was that man trying to lead me somewhere else? I suppose either way, the man couldn't have wanted to bring me back to the palace for any good reason. Is it possible that a witch gave a commoner a description of you? But then why would... Karma stops talking and looks up at me with something like sympathy. Sorry, I'm just running my head for ideas. If the witch is really so dangerous, and why do they want with me? What do they want with me in the first place? Rest assured, Princess, we'll figure this out. I nod my head slowly. I have a lot of questions for Delora and Parfait, but it is possible that even they... Oops. That even they might not know everything. I will need to think of my own as well, just in case they decide to keep more of the secrets. I look at Carmen and shake my head. Next time I'll be more wary. I won't let myself be caught unaware. Before I realize it, Karma has his hand on my cheek and is staring at me solemnly. His eyes are cold and unmoving as steel. Princess, there won't be a next time. That's what I said. Next time I'll make sure that you're definitely not alone. Had I not been alone today, I might... excuse me. I might have actually been kidnapped. I know that, but I cannot show weakness. I just need to be more cautious. I am not some damsel in distress, you know. Having someone at your back is far more comforting. Even on a battlefield, knights fight better together. What's wrong? Nothing. He moves his hand away from his face and stands up, sighing. His eyes look suddenly distant, and his posture stiff. I think we're about done here, right? I haven't finished your makeup, though. Wait, why am I even concerned about that? Oh, sometimes simpler is better, but... Or would you like me to sit back down? I do enjoy being pampered by you, Princess. I take it back, we're definitely done. Good, thank you for your hard work. It is an instant mood change, and a bright smile once again graces Karma's face. As much as I hate to admit this, I'm going to have to leave you. I have business in town and I'm on patrol tonight. Probably won't see you for the rest of the day, but thank you. He's thanking me for putting on his makeup. It was such a small thing. You're welcome. You already thanked me, though. Well, now you can tell I'm twice as thankful as a normal person. It doesn't make any sense. It's Karma. A lot of things he says do not make any sense. I leave the room with Karma, and he leaves the tavern to go find Parfait and Delora. The two of them are seated together in the reception, speaking in hushed voices when I arrive. They both pause to look at me as I walk into the room. Oh well, if it isn't the princess, it took you long enough to come see us. Yeah, he's told us you were unharmed. But we're glad to see you safe, Princess. So, how about telling us what happened? When prompted, I tell them everything that transpired in the alleyway. The two listen and only exchange a solemn glance when I am done. Do you know something about all this that I don't? Why would the witches be after me in the first place? You remember what I said about the Tenebrim corrupting witches? Well, those witches don't like seeing curses broken. They meddle where they can because they can. That is why I cast a glamour on you when you arrived here, so that you could remain hidden from magic wise. I did it to protect you. To protect me? I feel like there's more to this than that they are hiding, but I do not think any amount of convincing will get them to say anything. Forget us, Princess. We're not entirely sure what's going on either. Though, if it was a human that captured you, he must be working with the witches somehow. Troublesome, to say the least, but we don't know the details yet. Give us some time to figure things out. Until we figure out who that man is and who he's working for, you need to have an escort with you out of the Martian at all times. Do you understand? And once you figure it out, you'll tell me? The two exchange a look, which makes me more frustrated. They're obviously keeping secrets in front of me. Well, tell you once everything falls into place. Don't worry, Princess. We would never let you be put in any danger. The silence is what ends our conversation. I make my way back to the room, feet heavy. I feel like a fly caught in a spider's web. I try my best to clear my mind as I return to my room. The days go by slowly, and I make no progress with my curse. Carmen is busy with the nights today, and Delora and Parfait are busy talking with Rumpel about his curse in his room. Tonight is the perfect night to go and wander the town by myself. I need to see if I can find out anything about the witches that are happening around the kingdom. Delora and Parfait are not going to tell me anything, and no one has wanted to take me out of the Martian since kidnapping. These thoughts spiral hopelessly in my mind as I sit at the table. I have just finished working for the day, and actively and the Martian is beginning to wind down. Garland stands at the door as the last few customers leave the Martian. Urien is walking around the room to make sure that there are no problems. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice two men pause halfway across the room to glance back at her. I can hear their words from where I am. Shame that she's a knight, eh? But proud type. She's the proud type, too proud to let a man dote on her. Bleeding shame indeed. But do you think I tried to say something to her? You too. Garland is suddenly standing beside the two men in an uncharacteristically dark glare on his face. Is there a problem? Doors are closing for the night. I'm going to ask you to leave, please. Not to be so uptight, Laud. We're on our way now. I'm sorry, I just picture British, and I'm not even trying to do the accent. This is just what's coming out. The two men walk out, and Garland stands in the middle of the tavern area, glaring at after them. He more or less pushed them out of the tavern, and if Anais had saw that, she'd probably have scolded him. Garland! You okay? Of course. You think you could fool me. I've known you for far too long to know that something's bothering you. Neither of the knights seem to notice me. If they do, they ignore me. Uranus still looking insistently at Garland, who looks down at the floor. Is he going to say something to her? Garland says nothing, though. He looks at a loss for words. Finally, Uranus reaches out and pokes his shoulder, and he looks up, startled. Still the same as always. The silent, watchful knight. Only says things with certainty that when he knows they are the truth. Even the princess is waiting for you to say something. Both knights turn to look at me, and Garland seems surprised. I raised an eyebrow at him, and he hurriedly looks away. Patrol is starting soon. I'll head out first. Okay, stay safe. Garland nods at her with a little smile before he leaves the tavern. Going to sleep soon, princess? I need to. I was just going to head up. I stand up to get ready and move to my room, but once more stop up to look at Urin. Did you hear what those men were saying? Oh, about me being too proud or something? So she did hear them, but chose to say nothing. It doesn't bother me. They're right. I've been independent for a long time, and I would think about pledging my safety to a man I barely know. I can take care of myself. Blunt and to the point. Aaron was really admired for the honesty in the palace. The only other man I trusted before my fellow knights, Garland most of all, since we've always been partners. She does not explain any further. I decide that is for the better. The sooner everyone is cleared out, the sooner I can leave the Martian. Tonight's the night I go looking for answers. Sorry, Karma, but I can handle myself. I'm going to prove it tonight. I may not be able to fight, but I can still be cautious enough to not land myself into trouble. Still, I do not happen to hear much of anything as I'm exploring this town tonight. I should have brought along some kind of weapon, but then I would have just had to steal a knife from the kitchen. I'm not a thief. Hours pass before I pass a tavern filled with knights. Deciding that I will at least listen to what is happening at the palace, I will linger by the door and listen to what the men are saying. I hear that young Fritz is having a hard time of it. I feel bad for the lad. Even Sir Alcester thinks he's gone mad. Well, he does keep talking about a princess that doesn't exist. Fritz still remembers me? But how? Even his father is growing weary of his babbling. Sorry, guys. Sir Mithras forced him on break the other day. He didn't seem happy. Well, Sir Mithras must think he's crazy too. Poor Fritz. Can you keep a secret? The knights look at each other, and I lean as close as I possibly can. Apparently, the boy spoke some truth, though Alcester doesn't quite believe it. He's looking for the daughter of the previous queen. Ah, the witch had a daughter. The previous queen. Are they talking about Mother? How dare they call her a witch? Apparently she did, though I don't remember such a girl. This is top secret stuff. I just happened to wrestle this out of one of the lackeys looking for her. What would Sir Alcester need with this girl for? I'm assuming she's dangerous and that they want to get rid of her. Are they talking about me? I'm curious. How are we supposed to find this imaginary princess anyway? Does she have any features? They described her features. Last man who went looking for her said she wore a special pendant around her neck. I should get out of here. I turn to leave the tavern, but my cloak snags on the door and falls to the floor, tripping me on the process. I end up falling halfway into the tavern, where the chatter abruptly stops. Is this... Oh, a lady. The knights that were talking approach me. One of them picks up my cloak. I attempt to grab my cloak from their fingers, but they pull it away from me, and I stumble into one of them. Madam? He moves toward to take my hand, and then stops when he sees my face. Her face, and a necklace! You think she's been spying on us? Witch! One of the knights grabs me by the wrist and pulls me toward him. He is far stronger than the man in the alleyway was. Unhand me right now, I'm no witch. Then there should be no problem. We're just going to Take you in, and if there's some kind of big misunderstanding, we'll repay you ourselves, miss. Now let me go. This behavior is not fitting of a knight. Come now, miss. Let's go back quietly. I think try to convince them, right? Try to convince them, yes. Fighting back is useless when I'm outnumbered. I have to try to convincing them that I'm not who they think I am. You're mistaken, sirs. I happened to overhear your conversation and assuming I am some imaginary princess is unreasonable. Let's look at each other. You know, she has a point. She was listening in on our conversation. It's clearly suspicious. Did you not just hear what I just said? I happened to overhear it. There's nothing more. You were cloaked as if you were trying to hide your features. Being out at night without a cloak is a sure way to draw attention to a lady such as myself. You know, she has a point. Stop saying that, man! Then, ma'am, there should be no problem with us taking you back to the palace. If we are mistaken, we'll clear up this misunderstanding and pay you handsomely. Come on, let's take her to the palace. The knights laid me into the empty streets. Why? Why did I have to be so stubborn? The knights continue pulling me down the path until we come to a narrow street. Everyone who sees us walks away to avoid the knights. There's fear in their eyes. But I have done nothing wrong. Ma'am, if it makes you feel any better, we're risking our rank on this as well. I don't know. I'm suspicious of... Who goes there? I look up and notice Karma's familiar figure walking towards us. What is he doing here, and why isn't he in disguise? Gentlemen, I ask you to unhand that woman. As a knight, I would be ashamed to be seen treating a lady so terribly. And who are you? Her husband. His what? Unhand her, gentlemen, or taste my blade. Sir, we're just going to take her to the palace too. I'll give you one to the count of 3. One knight keeps his grip on me as the other draws his sword. I stare at Karma, who continues to count through the knights, though the knights attack before his sword leaves its sheath. Karma and the knight trade blows, but it is Karma that comes out victorious. His blade slides past the knight's shoulder, distracting him long enough to give Karma the opening he needs. Karma reaches back with his free hand and knocks the knight out with a blow to the head. It may just be my imagination, but for a few moments I see the knight's blade glimmer across the surface of Karma's hand before he falls. The knight, holding me up, holds up his hands in surrender. I yield, sir. It seems no matter how the situation turns out, you are dishonorable. Please, sir. Karma knocks him out and stands beside me as he sheathes his sword. Karma, a few moments is it. Karma spends some time forcing a potion from the vial down each of the knights' throats. I watch them quietly, fearing that he might have killed them, but the knights only seem to be asleep. The potion that Parfait gave me, it'll make the men forget they ever saw you. When Karma stands again, I notice the glimmer of blood on his hand and stare. You're hurt. It's nothing. I am sorry. Come on, princess, let's go back. He pulls me right out onto the main street and does not let go of my hand. I cannot bring myself to speak. Karma saved me twice now. Not only that, but this time he's injured, and he says nothing at all. But his bloodied hand does not move at all. Why do I have to be so stubborn and insist I can handle myself? I do not speak for long. Eventually I notice people start to stare. Though before long the staring grows worse, a young woman begins following us, giggling from behind. I turn to Karma, who looks like he hasn't slept in days. Karma? Sorry, princess, but I'm not in the mood to talk. Those girls are walking right beside us. This is his curse? Karma. Lucette, I just said I'm in no mood to talk. Did you not hear me? We're being followed. He stares behind us almost stupidly and then laughs hollowly when the girl sees his face. They start to rush towards us, their voices rising and blending together in horrendous cacophony. Karma's not moving, though. He looks resigned. Maybe he's too tired to realize what he wants to do. I tighten my grip on Karma's hand and pull him away. My pace quickening to a run as the girls chase after us, screaming at me angrily for taking Karma away from them. Lucette, what are you doing? Getting us out of here! Lucette! I lead him through the town, into the little nooks and crannies where we managed to lose some of the crowd. Karma often leads me through some of these spaces as shortcuts. Waltz knew them too. Once we were alone again, I stopped, falling to my knees, and letting go of Karma's hand as I catch my breath. It really was a curse, having to run away from so many mindless women. That was difficult. Lucette! What? I did not mean to snap, but the tiredness is pressing on me too. You helped me out of that. Of course I did. Why would I want to be chased by girls? You could have left me behind and gone on alone. Instead, you helped me. You helped me too. I guess I paid you back. Though, to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about repaying him for saving me. I just knew that I didn't want Karma to be stuck trying to fend off all those girls. He was right about his curse. That is terrible. I just realized something. Karma kneels down beside me and waits for me to speak. My curse says people forget me, and yours has even strangers become fascinated with you. It's almost like our curses are opposite of each other, and yet we are so similar. Seem so similar. My eyes widen when I realize what I just said. We are similar, aren't we? He holds out his good hand to me and let me lead him back to the tavern through the abandoned alleyways. My feet are heavy, and all I want to do is sleep, but suddenly Karma is standing before me, his face grave. Lucette, I have to thank you for helping me earlier. I'm sorry I froze like that, and made it more difficult on you. It was so sudden, and I was so tired, I had no motivation to move. Shouldn't I be thanking you? I'll accept your thanks, even though I wish you didn't have to thank me in the first place. You should not have gone out on your own when you knew how dangerous it could be for you. I'm sorry. I'll accept your apology, too, because I lost sleep with this. I have no words for how I feel right now. Princess! Karma reaches for my hand again, and this time he holds it up and kisses the back of it. Suddenly all my tiredness falls away. You're really a handful. But a delightful handful. I'm going to bandage this hand and then rest. We'll speak later about all this, okay? But the blood. The bleeding stopped on its own, Lucette. But it does need to be treated. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Are you sure? As sure as I can be. I don't lie. Not even for the sake of a pretty lady. Karma lets go of my hand as soon as we enter the merchant and then bows politely to me before heading back to his room. I watch him go, my mind whirling. Does he usually kiss women's hands? No, I don't think so. Okay, we are going to have to end this one here. And save over that one. So, I know it's a half hour early, but one, I'm too tired to even read. That's my problem. So, half hour early. Besides that, I think it'll probably take another hour to get through next chapter. But anyway, at least half an hour. I'll leave this one here, so leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.